Greetings and hallucinations, everyone. Jonathan here in Bali, Indonesia, and wanted to send y'all some good vibes, some good frequency, some resonance from here. I'm just doing a little workout right now and feeling a little bit transcendental, if you know what I mean. I'm on day 2 of a liquid fast, and lots of juice, lots of nourishment, but just, denying the ego self that which it's hungry for, right? That constant need for fulfillment that never really seems to be satiated until you feed it. And so today's day 2 of my liquid fast, and feeling light, to say the least, but needless to say, there was a intuitive guidance that led me to making the decision to deny myself of food. And essentially that came from a moment where I just realized that sometimes those programs from our past of who we think we are, who we feel we are, and even the program of time, right? Where I am, when I am, what time is it, and food becomes so ingrained into our neural architecture that it almost controls our reality. And so today is day 2 of me fine-tuning that a little bit, taking a step back and just really tuning in. And it was really beautiful because I was talking to some of the Indonesian women who run the place that I'm staying at, and they were making the prayer offerings, and I was talking to them about my fast, and they said, oh yeah, we fast, and when we fast, when we get hungry, we pray. And it reminded me of the first time that I fasted back when I was identified as a Christian, and was praying every time I would fast. So I made that commitment, and during that time, during that intuitive, inquisitive moment of reflection, of prayer, because they say that meditation is when you listen to the universe or listen to God, and prayer is when you're connecting to it. And during this time, I've been really tuning into this idea of going into space rather than being so much of a particle, right? Like, rather than needing the answer to everything, rather than constantly needing solution and to know what's happening and to have resolve and to have everything under control, because essentially that is the ego's need, is to have constant control. And rather than being the particle in the quantum field, rather becoming more of a wave, becoming more of a frequency, becoming more of a resonant or a harmonic essence, rather than sitting there and needing to constantly be checking information, or to have that constant chatter of the mind that's saying I need to do something, or I need to be somewhere other than where I am right now, right? So I took this nap earlier, and as I was going into sleep, I was kind of like half asleep, half awake, and I was dancing on that line of the quantum where, you start to disassociate with who you think you are and become more limitless. You go from somebody to nobody, and then eventually coming into a knowingness of being everybody. And there's something in philosophy, I suppose it's called noetics, or the noosphere. Noetics is like the frequency of all information, a field of information that's always accessible right now in this moment. And the noosphere is the sphere of energy. It's kind of like the collective consciousness, in the same way that we're tuned into the collective consciousness, in the same way that this smartphone is a physical manifestation of the collective consciousness. All of the information in the world that is stored on databases, made available to you in the palm of your hand. Essentially, the noosphere is all of the knowledge held in mind by all people. And I'd be curious if anyone out there knows the intersection of the noosphere and the Akashic records, the Akashic field, or the cosmic Akash. I'd be curious to know what the correlation is there between those two fields of information. But either way, these are fields of information that are invincible from the naked eye. However, it's there, in a sense that I have information in my mind, and I know that other people have information in their minds. You have information in your mind, and collectively we make this noosphere of all of the information on the planet. And we have the ability, and essentially the idea is that you have the ability to tune into that field of information at any given moment. Now, yes, you could do it through your smartphone, and yes, Wi-Fi waves are available on the frequency spectrum of electromagnetic wavelengths, like the spectrum of color. You have the infrared rays, and you have different fields of electromagnetic frequency from like your sorry, I'm having a brain fart. Radio waves, Wi-Fi waves. You get the idea. So, but beyond the electromagnetic field, there's other fields of information that go beyond the senses, that go beyond electromagnetic frequency, and that is what's known as the quantum field. And so you have the ability to tune into the quantum field of infinite possibilities that is essentially all possibilities existing right now in this moment, and all future timelines that begin right now in this moment. The moment that you can take a step back from who you think you are as being the identity, the ego, the Jonathan who is this certain type of person, and we collapse, in a sense. We're collapsing the wave function of the quantum field into this three-dimensional holographic reality. The wave function is like a mathematical equation, like the Fn, right, function of this field of information. We're collapsing into who we think we are. And the moment that you think and feel that is who you are, that is when you're collapsing the wave of potentiality into three-dimensional reality. So we live in this multi-dimensional world, though, and essentially if you look through your two eyes, you've got like these two camera lenses that give you the capacity to see in 3D. Isn't that fascinating? And then fourth dimension is time, and fifth dimension is space. So what I'm tuning into here, and the revelation that I had earlier, was that if you can take a step back, as I did in my meditation / nap, if you can slow the mind down enough to finally just tune into those infinite possibilities, is it possible that you could potentially tune into a new vision? Maybe it might be considered an epiphany. Maybe maybe you're working on a project right now and you've been focusing a lot of attention on it, and they say where attention goes, energy flows, and you're weaving new neural synaptic connections in your brain, and you're starting to fire and wire that kind of hardwired infrastructure within your brain and within your body. The emotional state of being and feeling is becoming more of a memorized emotion. You've been working out, as I'm doing here right now in the gym. You've been, training yourself to stand in a higher frequency, to reside in a higher state of mind. Because ultimately, when I talk about frequency could just be correlated to awareness. You raise your frequency, you raise your awareness of who you think you are, or what you feel that your capacity is to create as a human. Right? And so often we reference what we're capable of, or our capacity, based on who we were in the past. You know what I mean? It's like we're like, oh yeah, I can't do that because I'm a what? I'm a this, I'm a that. I can't because of all these factors, or I can't because of all these factors of who I think I am, which is great, and it's great to build our identity. But what if you could download a new code of information, a new possibility for your future? And when I say code, what I mean is that when you close your eyes to the visible spectrum of light, when you close yourself off to the senses of the food that you're putting in your mouth, the sound of your environment, when you shut yourself off to the environment and you just tune in purely into the quantum field of infinite possibility, when you go into the infinite nothingness of the void and you disassociate with who you think you are, going from somebody collapsing into this timeline to nobody, right? You disassociate, and then suddenly you become everybody, everything, all possibilities become available to you, and you start to tune into that. And when you do that, what you're doing is your body energetically and also biologically, your frequency is upgrading. Your awareness is being liberated into new fields of potentiality. And in a sense, it's like, wow, you could feel a moment of, maybe there's a release, maybe you start crying, maybe there's like, your body starts to shake, maybe you start laughing, or there's like a sense of joy or like a smile that comes onto your face. There's like infinite possibilities of what could come to you in this moment of download, in this moment of revelation. And there's no right or wrong instance here. There's no right or wrong way to meditate. There's no right or wrong way to essentially die to the ego, right? Because death is never going to be an enjoyable experience, And for many of the people watching this video, you're like, oh, you're telling me that you want me to die in order to feel, new possibilities? Yes, go screw yourself, And like, that's cool. Like, I know a lot of people who are really satiated and really, okay with just tooting their own horn and residing in their current state of mind and don't feel called to change. But if you feel really called to change, I'm like, it's amazing what's possible when you really start to explore your infinite capacity to tune into your future and to begin to create a new vision for yourself. And essentially you're downloading light codes. You're downloading frequency of light, and it's actually beyond the visible spectrum of light, but it's still within the frequency. It's still a wave. It's still a wave of possibility. And one way to describe that, and I know this is kind of, it's a very abstract concept, but it's like, in this moment right now, I could, I have infinite possibilities available to me in my field. And so I could say, what would be the ultimate state of being right now, right? And then I start to get all like juicy with it and like, oh yeah, like maybe it's a little bit more of a tantric expression where I'm fully expressing my divine nature in this moment and just, like fully breathing in and like communicating to my body through the feeling and the emotion to start to trigger like serotonin and oxytocin, and suddenly I just change my awareness, right? Rather than being in a state of like, I don't know if I really resonate with what he's saying, and so, it's like infinite possibilities and infinite emotional states of being and residing. Now, coming back to this idea of the research of HeartMath Institute, where they talk about the human heart is 5,000 times stronger magnetically than the brain, and 100 times stronger electrically than the brain. So there's this electromagnetic field that our body is emitting on a regular basis. You are casting waves of energy outside of your body right now in this moment. You are a living magnet with a positive and a negative, right? With this brain that's like an antenna, and these eyeballs that are like little freaking nebulas. Fucking beautiful. It's a miracle. We are miracles made up of particles. It's Nako Bear, Medicine for the People. If you haven't tuned into his music yet, please do yourself a favor and turn it down. For what? I was just working out in here. And it was funny because I was having this inner dialogue happening, and I'll show you guys around a little bit. I was having this inner dialogue, and it went something like this. You're on day 2 of fasting from food. You should definitely not work out. You don't have enough energy for that. And I'm just like, you're right, I'm gonna take a nap, right? So I take a nap, and then I go into my meditation, and I'm like half in, half out. And then I wake up, and oh my God, I was so lethargic. My body was just like, fuck you. Like, why are you not feeding me? I'm hungry, and I'm about to go back to sleep if you don't feed me. And I was just like totally dead. And then you know what I said? I said, I fucking love you, body, but fuck you. You're gonna listen to me and you're gonna feel the way that I want you to feel. And I sat myself down and I did some breathing. I did some breath work. I turned my body on, and then I poured myself a big bottle of water and put some salt inside of it. Good to the last drop. It's time to level up our narrative with ourselves. It's time to put down the old book, the old story. It's time to close that chapter and to open up a new book. The moment that you put away the old story, Hallelujah. Talk about like a breath of fresh air. Talk about new life. Talk about new possibility. And this week has been amazing. I had almost one coaching session every single day with someone totally brand new, being here in the Ubud bubble. I've been having these amazing sessions with people where we're just tapping into new possibility. And a lot of times it's like, every time it's different. I always tell people that it's like every time something new is going to come up, we don't know what it is, but it's all about getting deeply aligned with your story. Getting deeply aligned with your narrative, getting deeply aligned with the fucking trauma and drama that we're holding on to on a daily basis, and fully facing it and utilizing it as a catalyst for our transformation. Now, there is no numerical solution or there's no numerical reason why a caterpillar would turn into a fucking butterfly. There's no what other flower, what other plant does that? I was watching, just like these nature videos, and I was just fascinated at this idea that it's like, wait, so you're telling me that one animal turns from this, and then all of a sudden it transcends flight and gravity in its own lifetime, in a fucking week, or in like 2 weeks. It's incredible. And essentially that is the process of evolution that animal has went through for hundreds of years, thousands of years, going from a caterpillar, becoming a butterfly. Like it took a slow process. It took thousands of years for it to get there, but it finally transcended. And so what is that evolutionary path for you? And could you be so bold as to transcend your environment, the fucking bullshit and the trauma, the old story, the old pathways, what your parents told you, what society's telling you? What would it take for you to do that, to drop the story and to close your fucking eyes and tune in to new possibility, to new potential, to a new vision? And I guarantee you that the moment you do that and you start exercising that muscle, that capacity to tune into the divine nature that is you, that is expressing itself through you in every moment, and ask it, what does that transmutation look like for me? What does that metamorphosis look like for me? And ironically, that is the theme of Burning Man this year, is metamorphosis. I don't know if I'll be there. It's kind of funny because today I was Googling, I was on the Burning Man website, and I looked it up. I was tuning in because this year I decided that I was going to go to a meditation retreat instead of go to Burning Man. Best decision of the year. And I was like tuning in that moment, should I go to Burning Man? And I was Googling it, and all of a sudden this little splat of something falls onto my keyboard. I'm like, what the heck? Like right at my hands. I'm looking at like right on my keyboard. I'm like, what the heck? And I look up, and there is a gecko on the ceiling above me with its tail up in the air taking a shit on my keyboard. And I'm like, wait, okay, what is the metaphysical interpretation of a gecko shitting on you? Like, is this good luck or bad luck? I don't know. I'm curious to ask you guys. Can you help me with that one? I've got my hopes set high. So this has been a really fun video to share with you guys. Essentially downloading light codes into your future, transcending beyond space and time, beyond this dimensional reality, behind this 5-dimensional reality of this one particular timeline in which you perceive, that's a B, in which you perceive this particular timeline, because there's this 5D time-space reality that you're on right now. There's a future, there's a now, and there's the timeline. And within there's that visible spectrum of light, and there's frequency and energy and all the information in the known reality. But in one dimension higher, let's just say 1 degree higher of frequency, an elevated state of awareness, of emotion, a new state of mind, a new state of being, some sort of, a quantum shift in your perception to decide that you're going to do something different. And it could be as simple as just a decision right now in this moment, just like the fucking decision I made yesterday when I said, hey, Jonathan, I think you've been eating a little too much food lately. You don't get to eat anymore. And I'm like, what? What do you mean I don't get to eat anymore? You're like, oh yeah, you're going on a fast. But it's like the 5th of the new year. It's like the 6th or 8th, or it's not even the 1st. I don't care what date it is. You're not gonna eat for the next, I don't know how long. How long can I go? 40 days later. No, I don't want to transcend too far into light and frequency, but you know, essentially I really would like to just clean out and purge out my insides in an effort to raise my body's capacity to download and perceive light. And so in this moment, I'm now reveling in the understanding that I am going to get new downloads with this meditation, with this in my meditations and in my workouts. Because going back to what I was saying, you're in this degree, you're in this frequency, you're in this number, there's a dial, you're tuning the heart, right? The heart frequency, you're turning it up. You're getting turned. Boom. New understanding, new perception, new realizing that the people that you're surrounded with aren't the people that you want to be with anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like realizing that, whoa, wait a second, stop. I've got to take a step back before I reposition here and then move forward. And then Anya says, so the consensus was that it's damn good luck. Yes, thank you, Anya. You're my metaphysical interpreter for my gecko goo. And yeah, so then tuning into these light codes, and that's what Anya talks a lot about. She is the liquid crystalline code bringer and doing a fast. Actually, you're doing one soon. You should definitely share your fast here in the comments. And yeah, maybe I'll be fasting still yet until then, and I'll join you. Because basically the idea, you guys, is that we are emitting an electromagnetic field. Our pineal gland is a transducer of frequency. And through this practice of meditation and breath work, we're able to start to tune the body like an instrument and start to reside in a higher state of frequency, tuning in, sending and receiving signals, and just like coming into a more coherent state on a regular basis. And that's essentially where I'm at right now. So I feel like, I'm enjoying the feeling of having broken through today, the feeling of wanting to eat and not eating, and having wanted to sleep, and I did sleep, but then I woke up and realized I'm gonna work out. Even though I'm not eating food after this workout, I'm not gonna have my nice big workout meal. No, I'm gonna have some juice, and that's it. And I'm gonna drink, and I'm gonna purge my insides, and I'm gonna clean my gut flora. And I'm gonna, just like nourish my body with some micronutrients from my delicious Purium. And I'm gonna, treat myself well. Maybe I'll go in a hot tub or get a massage later, because massages are $5 in Bali every single day. I love Bali. I love you, Bali! Oh my God. Check this place out, you guys. I gotta show you this spot. This is like my favorite spot. Oh, you got the infinity pool here, and just like overlooking the rice fields. It's super quaint. Here's the assembly point, just in case you feel like assembling. Let's come together, you guys. Let's assemble. Help each other rise up. Rise up in frequency and mind. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I sure have, and always love sharing these downloads with you. If it inspired you, if you feel inspired to share this, please do. If you feel inspired to have a sacred strategy session with me, I would love to serve you in that way. My sessions have been getting absolutely epic, out of this world. If you're looking for a new strategy or a new, just a new story, a new vision, or just a new outlook on your current situation,
if you're looking to make a quantum leap in your personal development and your evolution, your personal evolution, definitely reach out to me, because I have been having so many epic sessions with people. They're getting really good, and also just having a lot of deep transformation in myself. As many of you know, I've been on the path of personal development and transformation for a little over 12 years now, creating organizations and companies and writing books and doing all the things, and at the same time having deep, profound healing and transformation in my own life. That's part of my own rite of passage. And essentially we're all on our own timelines, our own rites of passages. And as you know, in the hero's journey, one of the steps in the hero's journey, and I'm on a swing just in case you guys were wondering, one of the steps in the hero's journey is just like meeting the mentors and meeting the guides, and I love to serve in that way for my friends and for my family. So definitely reach out to me. So much love and aloha from here in Bali, Indonesia, sending you all deep resonance and harmonic vibrations into your experience of life. May all of our ideas and dreams come true at the speed of light. May we be crystal clear on our message. May our voices be activated. May our visions be crystal clear. And may our hearts sing songs of joy and inspiration and love. May our bellies be nourished with delicious food, and may we be filled with the juiciest, yummiest, orgasmic, pleasure-filled life possible, because that's what we're here to do.